Hello guys and welcome to another day in the bee yard. As you can see, I'm actually not in the bee yard today. I actually harvested some honey yesterday and I want to actually spin it out. I want to show you guys the process of spinning it out. So without further ado, I will show you what one of the combs looks like. There's two different types of varieties that I have. So this one's a really light honey they have here, and I'm going to decap it first. Okay, and you can see, as I've told you before, sometimes they don't build correctly. They're actually building in their own way versus the way I want them to build. But I'll just take this decapper tool. We'll see if it works. I've never used this type. I used to use a knife. But this is supposed to just decap it really easy. And we'll see. Yep. So you want to basically get all of the caps the top, and of course we'll melt this wax down and get the honey out of that too, but we'll drain it actually first. Oh, there's a bee, a dead bee. It happens. We just take them out, and that's one reason why we strain it too, in case there's any debris like that in it. But you want to make sure you get all of the caps nice and scraped. Otherwise, they won't spin out. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of wax that I'm scraping off too, so that's why we also use strainers. So that's one side. Do the other side. Oh, this works too. Huh. Okay, so it works both ways. Like I said, this was a brand new tool that I just bought. And it actually scrapes both ways really good. Okay, so that one, basically you just want to break every single cap off. Otherwise, even with centrifugal force, it's not going to spin out. Okay, so that one is done. Now, we'll place it into the spinner, like so. It's already starting to drip out. Okay, there's that one, and then we turn it around for the next one. Grab one more. And do the same thing. This one is not quite, these were right next to each other, and if you saw on that one, it was built way out. This one isn't built as far out, so sometimes they don't build it right, like level with the frame. They like to do their own thing. They aren't domesticated by any means. There's one hive that I have out there that won't even build on the frames. They refuse. They actually are building every which way but on the frames. It's kind of frustrating, but this is a really, really light honey. So the light honey, it depends on who you talk to, but a lot of people say that the light honey is the most sought out for and what they really want when they're buying honey. Buckwheat or a lot of your fall honeys tend to be a lot darker. It's all just a matter of taste. Usually darker honeys are much more potent in their flavor than the lighter honeys. This is, from what was out there, I'm guessing that this is probably either sage, might even be avocado. I don't know. There was lots of sage this spring. So, all right. So we're gonna put this in here, and we're gonna balance it. Yep, the other way. Let's see. I want it this way, and we're gonna turn this one this way. Okay. Now we're gonna close it. We're gonna see what happens. And if you want to come in here, zoom in here like that, you can see the honey spinning onto the outside of the... And actually what we can do is I can open one of these lids for you. You can really see all the honey going onto the outside of that, and it'll drain down into the bottom.
You can smell it.
Mm-hmm. So each one of these frames holds about 7 pounds of honey. So once this side is done, we'll flip them and do the same to the other side. But I need to make sure that we get everything out on this side. Hear that? That means that it's
still heavy.
Yeah, still very heavy. Gonna cover that. Just guys. All right. Let me see where we're at.
Doesn't look like much is coming out at
Well,
all.
well, no, that's the
Oh,
inside.
you gotta do the other side.
So here's the inside. It's almost all out.
Oh, wow.
Completely.
Hang on, let me zoom in.
It's almost completely out. And of course, the other side that we have to do, I'll flip, is still that side. I'm going to spin this side a little bit more just to get as much honey as I possibly can.
When's the last time you spun honey?
Probably when I was 15. I used to have a spinner that had a motor on it. Stupid thing, I was always breaking down. This one's so much nicer. It's easy, no motor. It's pretty an easy setup. And on Amazon, if you guys want to buy one of these, they're actually like $69 on Amazon. Kylie, stay out inside. I'm sorry, you can't be out here. Okay, so now I'm gonna flip it.
You want me to pause it for a minute?
Yeah. All right, so I got some of that spinning done. I only have 3 of these frames, which are the really light honey. I'll show you the darker honey in a little bit. It might just be darker wax, meaning older wax. It was, you know, it had multiple uses of honey in it, but it might be a different color honey. If that's the case, we've got to strain all of this first, and then we'll go back in and spin the other. This one's a really nice frame. You can see how full it is. If you notice on the last ones, they actually they had those lines in them where they didn't build it properly. This one they built completely proper. Of course, you know, proper from a beekeeper standpoint. From a bee standpoint, they like to do what they want to do. I'm sure they have a reason. Yeah. Just like that. So much easier than a knife. So decapping knives, you just usually have to heat the knife up and then do the capping process. This, no heating isn't required. You just do that and it just comes right off. So nice. That's about it. We'll put that one in there. And repeat the process. Hopefully, this won't be off balance. No, yeah, it's off balance. I'll just have to do it. See, so this is what happens if you only have one full, one empty, is it actually gets off balance and rocks like this. But I only have to do this with one. Like I said, there was only 3 of that I harvested that were the lighter honey, so I want to just make sure that I separate them if they are a different color. They'll also be a different flavor if they're a different color. There, it's getting better. All right. That should be not done.
A full one, huh?
It's a full one. All right. At least turn it to the other side to get some of this balance in proportion again. Yep. Perfectly taken. All the honey's out.
Oh.
This side.
So it spins and like drips on the side.
And then drips down at the bottom. And then we'll strain it out the bottom once it's all down.
What are some of the things that you can do with the wax when you're done?
Well, what I'm going to do with the wax, if I have enough, I'm going to melt it down and put a little layer on top of each one of the jars of honey, just as a little sealer. Well, wax, beeswax, I mean, thousands of uses for beeswax. So, I mean, a lot of your cosmetics, a lot of your facial creams and everything do have beeswax in them. I mean, lip balm, all that stuff has beeswax. So they have just as many properties. The wax is, made from honey. You can actually eat the wax. It doesn't taste good, but you can actually eat it. So, but what I'm going to do is try to utilize as much as I can and just seal them with a little cap of wax. And the other thing is too, is you don't want to spin too fast, because if you get too much centrifugal force, you have the entire honey, the center will come out, all the comb will come out along with everything else. So that one's good. Let me turn this one over. Ooh, that wouldn't have been good. Look at this one. And I've seen, it's interesting that for those of you that have been doing beekeeping for a really long time, we used to put the wax foundation in the middle, and then we used to use wire crisscrossing, and we'd have to electrify the wire to melt the wax foundation down in. As you can see, this was actually done from heat from the hive. See how it's bowed right there? That sometimes we'll do with centrifugal force as well. This one was actually done with heat in the hive, and I can't move it now, so it's stationary. But these are all plastic frames now. We don't use the wire anymore. We actually use the plastic frame, and that's all all that you need in the center. Otherwise, the whole entire thing will collapse in this process. All right, well, I'm going to take a break with the camera, and I'm going to continue with this, and we'll come back when we're actually spinning, or not spinning, when we're actually straining the honey, and you get to see that process.